Alright, hello everyone. This is Sir Adrian back here to film the random events for the spring 1916 in our current game of Global War 1914, Operation Bersaglieri. So, before we get to the random events, because we're going into 1916, now is when each country that has fighters on the board would have to pay 1 IPP per fighter to keep them in the game, because they would all automatically get upgraded to 1916 fighters if they do so. Otherwise, you can opt to not pay any IPP and all fighters you have on the board get removed, or you could only, let's say, pay for 2 of the fighters you have and let the others get destroyed, etc. The Austro-Hungarians and Ottomans don't have any fighters on the board. Neither do the Italians nor the Japanese. It's only the British and Germans, but the British and Germans are both already at 1916 fighters on the tech chart. So they don't have to pay anything. But if they want to have more advanced fighters this turn, they would have to roll for that once again. Otherwise, they're equal to everyone else. And France does have fighters. So you can't see them here because I have that 6th Army marker in Lorraine. But they do have 2 fighters down in Lorraine. So whatever France had collected the last turn, it'll be 2 IPP less because they're paying to keep those 2 fighters. So that's done. We also have some neutral additions. I've already gone ahead and added them. So there's 1 infantry that gets added to Madrid, 2 Greek, 1 Spanish infantry, 2 Greek infantry in Thessaly, and we have another Romanian infantry that gets added into Romania. So that's it for the neutral additions. I'll say it once again now that we're in a new year. So the mandatory offensives, I moved them up, but they weren't completed at all by anybody in 1915. I had a lot of confusion regarding how exactly this worked, and I think I understand it correctly now, hopefully. But it says in the rules, if you didn't complete one in the previous year, you suffer the negative effects. So contrary to what I had said, France and Britain were able, at the end of 1915, to collect their wartime income. But Germany, France, and Britain, in the spring of 1916, can't do any diplomacy whatsoever. Automatic alignment also doesn't happen. So Portugal would have been supposed to align to the British this turn. That's not going to happen. They can still be influenced, and that doesn't happen at all now. So they can still be influenced to join the British, or any other side for that matter, but they won't automatically align at all. And now, if I understood correctly, the way that it works is if any of those countries don't complete a mandatory offensive starting in the spring of 1916, those effects carry over. So it's at the end of this turn, if Britain and France, Britain, or Germany don't complete one, that they wouldn't be able to collect their wartime income. And then if it goes to the summer 1916 and they still haven't done one, they won't be able to do automatic alignment, which would be quite important for the French. And you don't want to miss out on stuff like that. Like, for example, Romania align the next turn and stuff like that. But as soon as they do complete one, then it moves back over. They stop to 1917. They stop suffering those negative effects. And then technically they wouldn't have to worry about one until the fall-winter of 1917. So to be honest, it's in everyone's best interest to just get those out of the way as soon as possible. Germany and France definitely will be able to, and the British, it looks like, will not this turn. So there might be one turn where Scullion won't be able to collect his wartime income. But he should be able to non-combat move stuff and complete it the next turn. But he will have just enough units, actually, I think, yeah. So he'll have to make sure to keep moving as much stuff as he can as quickly as possible across the channel into France, because otherwise he's might suffer another one. But he'll have a lot of time, as we said. You'll have until the fall winter of 1917 after that, so that's plenty of time to move some stuff over. Other than that, let's get to the random events. So, go ahead and roll for the East first. So that's a 1. So this one I would say we would re-roll. Normally you add a cavalry, an attacking cavalry, and an attacking infantry in eastern Mexico. And a lot of this in the errata got cut out. And increased Germany 1 stage on the diplomacy chart. But that conflict is still going on. The Mexican Civil War / revolution. So I don't think they would be able to... Well, yeah, they can't influence them. Like, normally Mexico starts at stage 1 for Germany, but yeah, as long as that conflict's going on, nobody can really influence them at all. I don't think. So unless I'm wrong, in my opinion, we would re-roll a different event. So that's what we'll do for now, and I think it'll be fine. Worst comes to worst, in a future game, we'll know for next time. It's just not a trial and error, and learning the rules and what have you. But anyway, so let's roll. So a 3. So 3 is Wartime Innovation 1. So Germany and Britain each receive 1 free technology roll. The other major and minor powers in their alliance advance the same technology 1 stage if they succeed. So we'll go ahead. I was told for Germany he was going to roll for fighters to bring that up 1 stage. That's a 4. That's definitely a miss. I don't even have to check. And the British said they would go for counter battery fire. So that's a success. So I'll have to update this on the chart, but Britain will be at stage 1, counter battery fire. France doesn't advance because they have it completed. The Japanese will be at stage 1, counter battery fire. And the Russians will be at stage 1, counter battery fire. And I believe the Americans might be as well. We'll double check to make sure. I think they might not be, because technically they're not part of the Allies yet, as they're still neutral. But if that's the case, we'll make sure that the Americans are at stage 1 as well. So that's it for that random event. Now let's roll for the West. So a 1. So Armenian Uprising. Place a damage marker on the railroad in Armenia. So Britain and Russia may spend 1 IPP each to place an infantry in Armenia, an attacking infantry. So if Armenia is enemy owned, the infantry must attack the other units. And the little history blurb is Armenian partisans equipped with Russian and British arms strike. So Armenia is down over here. And I will actually spend an IPP. So the British have said they're going to spend 1 IPP. I will as well with the Russians. So this will be updated in a TTS file, but I don't have any more damaged rail markers. I actually have to buy some more. And in fact, there's actually not even a railroad that's links Albania to anything else, so that might be a mistake. I think that should be pointed out. But regardless, there'll be 2 attacking infantry. So we're gonna have a Russian infantry and a British infantry attacking. So I'll actually put this down here for a second. And I'll go and grab those. So then, we won't have to go to the battle board, so that's mountain terrain. So we'll have a militia defending at a 2, and we'll have 2 infantry attacking at 1s on each round. So we'll go ahead and roll 2 infantry. So nothing. 1 defending at a 2. Ooh, nothing. We keep going. 2 at a 1. Damn, nothing. 1 at a 2. Nothing. 2 at 2, or 1, sorry. Nothing. 1 at 2. Okay, so 1 hit. So we'll remove 1 infantry. I don't think it really matters which, but we'll remove the Russian infantry. So then 1 at 1. Miss. 1 at 2. Miss. 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 1 at 1. Missed. 1 at 2. Miss. 1 at 1. Miss. 1 at 2. Miss. 1 at 1. Miss. 1 at 2. 1 at 1. 1 at 2. Jesus, a long battle. 1 at 1. 1 at 2. 1 at 1. Nothing. 1 at 2. Nothing. 1 at 1. 1 at 2. 1 at 1. 1 at 2. 1 at 1. 1 at 2. 1 at 1. Come on. 1 at 2. Okay, and the defending militia finally prevails after all that. They stubborn Albanian resistance. So that's it for that. So nothing changes there. So that's it for the random events. And now we will hand things off to the Imperial Germans.